Broadcasting live from the ESPN Radio Winchester studios, airing out the beef and settling the score. It's time for Where's the Beef Wednesday on Franklin County's favorite morning show. The starting lineup, fueled by Loco Coffee. And now for your hosts, Joe Abraham and Chewy.
And good morning, and welcome into the starting lineup on a Where's the Beef Wednesday, ESPN Radio 1340, 1069 WCDT Winchester. I am Joe Abraham in studio, as we normally are, with my good big buddy, Chewy. How are you today, my friend?
I'm just exhausted. How are you?
You should be exhausted. I heard you were up here. You had a late night. You came. Were you still up here, or did you come back up here?
No, I after you left yesterday, I just stayed up here. Left around 7:30ish.
Yeah,
somewhere around there.
After the game.
Yeah. Weird night. Real strange.
Yeah.
I got to see Kyler though. He came by, dropped off some of the stuff, so that was nice to see him.
It was a weird night. We're going to talk about that this morning on the show because as per usual, on a Wednesday, I have some beef. Unfortunately, we are going to be without the humpback swamp donkey on this Where's the Beef Wednesday, as he is feeling a little bit under the weather. So we appreciate him keeping all of that away from us. But you can get involved in the show, and I encourage you to do so as you're, bumping around this morning. You can pull us up on the WCDT smartphone app and carry us with you wherever you go. If you go out of town on vacation, you can listen to the show out of town. From Timbuktu to Tuscaloosa to Tullahoma.
Wow.
Okay. All the places. You can also listen to us in Atlanta, where it doesn't have to have a T to start the name.
Brett Crabtree and Sherry Sons both in here this morning. Good morning, everybody.
Sherry, you almost got him. Good morning to you both.
I think the video thing worked.
Did it work?
I think so.
Okay.
This is going to be an experiment.
Yeah.
For sure.
We may try an experiment here this morning on the show. I say we may. We're going to try an experiment at some point here this morning on the show. A couple of announcements I want to make before we get into the beefy nature of this morning. First and foremost, tonight is the Coaches Show over at Jefferson's.
6 p.m., hosted by Johnny Hand, actually at Jefferson's.
At Jefferson's. We will be at Jefferson's, and today on the show, he will be joined by Coach Mike Jernigan, as Coach Jernigan is the coach over there at Huntland Middle School. And so you're going to want to check that. All the Huntland folks, make the trip out. Come up and enjoy a night at Jefferson's. You can stay a little bit later even and enjoy trivia afterwards, after the Coaches Show. It's literally directly after. If we're not off the air by 7 o'clock, we get in trouble because trivia starts at 7 o'clock. We can't have dueling microphones.
Yeah.
Hopefully we won't get a gully washer today like we did last week.
Dude, last week I was so mad.
Anybody who made it to the Coaches Show last week, aside from the technical issues that the rain caused seemingly for us, I'm going to blame the rain. It's probably just user error. But goodness gracious.
Well, don't get your hopes up. We do have a 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms this afternoon.
Okay,
So,
I can deal with a little bit of rain. I've never seen it rain like that.
as long as it's not another monsoon again, I think we'll be good.
It was coming up over the curb into the front door of Jefferson's. That's how much rain it was last week.
Hopefully not as much rain. And you know what? If it does start raining, come inside to Jefferson's.
Yeah.
It sounds beautiful in there when it rains, by the way. It's a
Yeah.
wonderful little date night. You get to come over, support some of the local athletes, all those Huntland folks. Come on out here. Come see Jefferson's and support them out there.
I love that place.
I do.
It's great.
It's a lot of fun. Get there early if you're going to do trivia.
Chewy will be there signing autographs. I know that's what you're showing up for, is the Wookiee one. He will be there with my Sharpie signing autographs. Anyway,
and Johnny Han will be up there.
Yeah. Oh, Johnny Han signs autographs too.
Yeah, so.
Don't ask me. You won't get one. I'm trying to reverse psychology right now.
Right.
Anyway. All right. So we got some beef to get into today on the show. And I want to start with, speaking of middle school football, I missed Jack's game last night. It was the first time I've ever missed one of his real football games, tackle football games, since he played flag football. I may have missed one or two of his flag games, but I try and make it to all my kids' stuff. It's very rare that I miss a game. I scheduled a thing way out ahead of time, though, which I will say was worth being at. I needed to be there, but it was tough. It was tough. I spent the whole rest of the night making phone calls. How did Jack do? What did he do? Getting everybody else's analysis of how Jack did before I called Jack and asked him how he did. Here's the problem, Chewy, that I ran into. Everybody else pretty much just watches their kid, so they don't know how Jack did. Oh, he did good. He did good. No, I did get some video, though.
Yeah, I haven't even opened them yet. I woke up to some messages from you.
Yeah.
We'll have to look at those later.
Yeah, wait till you see what he does. He's a bully, man. He's a bully. He did play really well. They won a coffee cup, so good for them.
Good. Okay, so football season is off to a fantastic start for everybody so far.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm told, what is it? It's for the middle school kids, it's the coffee cup.
Okay.
For the bigger kids, for the high school kids, it's the coffee pot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The coffee pot. I was going to say goblet. Chalice.
The coffee maker. What is the one that makes the one cup at a time?
The coffee Keurig.
The coffee Keurig.
The Keurig cup.
The
Get it sponsored.
Oh man.
There you go.
They're missing out.
We need to get Loco to make, because they have little Keurig cups for regular ground up coffee. We need to make a Loco Keurig, the little cups. I don't know what they're called. But we need to do that.
K-cups.
K-cups.
Yeah.
We need a Loco K-cup.
In the chat, let me ask you this. Hey, go hoagies and more. And what is he saying?
He said, Christopher Lambert's jumping in saying, good morning, Jim Grind. The beef today, go hoagies and more at the row. Best smash burgers in FC. Cheesesteaks, hoagies, and stuffing guts at 12 inches at a time.
I need to get one of those.
Brett Crabtree
sounds really good.
Also jumped in saying, speaking of North and South, I have a beef about that. I wasn't aware that they were playing each other this season, and it actually sounds like it's going to be a good game this year. When's the North and South game?
Okay, so I can talk on that. I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to push my starting beef on the starting line to the next segment. But I will talk on this because there has been a lot of people who are a little bit beefy about the fact that North and South aren't scheduled to play one another. You know how that conversation came up a few years ago where we're like, hey, you guys want to combine schools and reduce a bunch of expenses? And people were like, yeah, that's a really good idea, but we'd lose this football game. Let's not do that.
It just shows.
So we didn't.
Yeah.
We need to play this football game is important. We need to play it every year. And so you know what we did is we scheduled that football game. We continue to schedule that football game every year until we didn't. This year, so while in recent years, those two programs left they were in the same conference. They left the conference. They went to different conferences and all the things. Here's the ironic part about it. You know why South or North, I believe it was, last year left their conference and changed conferences? Was because they weren't getting enough kids. They were down to their numbers were dropping so dramatically every year. They were down last year. By the end of the year, they had 22 kids or something like that.
Oh, wow.
On the roster. When they opened up spring ball this year, they had 18 kids. Now they're up to, because of the excitement around football, they're up to 36 kids on the North roster.
That's a lot better.
I was at Tullahoma Middle School's practice the other day, and they had 36 kids at their practice.
Wow.
Tullahoma Middle School's football team, despite combining all of their middle schools into one team, only has 36 kids on it. North has now gotten back up to that same number. So the question is, how long is North going to be? And I don't know, can they throw them out of the conference? If they get too good, too powerful, too big, can they throw them out of the conference? They may have to go back into one of the other conferences that they just left. And I don't know all the different conferences, the Elk Valley this and the other thing that. I'm very new to middle school football, but I can tell you something that I do know is that middle schoolers are very impressionable, Chewy.
Oh, okay.
And the first thing that you teach a kid, is to not quit. When things get hard, you don't give up. You don't just walk away. You don't just quit. You push through the adversity. You push through. And why that's important is because last night. Oh, okay. So hold on. I didn't finish my story about North and South. So they're in different conferences now.
Mm-hmm.
They have a number of conference games that they have to play. And technically, there is a week after the season where they possibly could play. But here's the problem. You got basketball that starts up. Now, I think that that's a cop-out. I think that both of these schools, I know that Dr. Alsip wants it to be played. I know that people within the school district want it to be played. I know that the principals want it to be played. Everybody wants it to be played.
Turn it into a charity game.
I don't care what it is. It needs to be played. And I'm not putting pressure on them. If they can't figure it out this year, we're 2 weeks in the season, 3 weeks getting there. We're 2 weeks in the season. So if it can't be played, okay. But let's sit down and really figure it out. Mm-hmm. Because basketball, the whole concern, basketball season starts right up afterwards, and they've got, schedules and this, that, and the other thing, and bowl games and whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't care. Because the whole point of those two teams even existing is this game. I would go as far as to say that they just need to figure it out. By the end of the season, their rosters will be more depleted. It won't be as, a fun of a game as it is right now. I don't care. I literally don't care about whatever excuse you have. I don't care. Make it happen. That's my thing. Don't tell me how it can't happen. Tell me how you're going to make it. Bring me a solution, okay? This game, and I'm not putting this on any one person. I'm not putting it on basketball coaches or football coaches or directors of schools or principals or anybody. I'm not. I'm saying it is up to all of you to make this happen, and we will support it. We will be there. We will broadcast it. We will make it a big deal like it should be. But there is no reason for this game to not be played. You cannot give me an excuse that is good enough for this game to not be played. Period. End of story. Doesn't matter. I don't care. Make it happen. This is why we have two separate schools. Literally. All right. I'll get into my real beef on the other side. It is the starting lineup. Off and running. This is ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester.
No two patients are alike. High Point Health with Ascension St. Thomas delivers care centered around your health, your goals, your story, your recovery. From routine checkups to critical procedures, we use today's medical technology and advanced clinical practices to help you feel better, recover faster, and return home to the community you love. We don't just specialize in care, we specialize in you. Learn more at highpointhealthsystem.com.
This is Daryl from Columbus, previously from the Paul Feinbaum Show. I like your show. I've been watching you for years. I like you, but I don't like you. I don't know you like Tennessee or Alabama. I don't know which one you like, but I know you don't like the Auburn Tigers, man.
Willie, thank you. I'm a little bit confused by liking me and not liking me, but you laid out your case very well.
The Paul Feinbaum Show, weekdays at 3 Eastern on the ESPN app and on the SEC Network.
Now, here's your ESPN Radio Winchester weather forecast. Brought to you by our official smile partner, Dr. Garrett Orr and Winchester Family Dentistry.
Got a 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms headed your way this afternoon. Otherwise, mostly sunny with a high of 90 degrees. But our heat index value is jumping up to 98. And then we're going to have some calm winds only around 5 miles per hour this afternoon. Stay cool while you stay tuned to ESPN Radio Winchester, 1340 1069.
At ESPN Radio Winchester, we're proud to welcome Winchester Family Dentistry and Dr. Garrett Orr as our official smile partner. From routine cleanings and family dental care to helping you feel confident about your smile, Winchester Family Dentistry is committed to caring for patients with comfort, professionalism, and a hometown touch. Whether you're due for a checkup or looking for a dental team you can trust, call Dr. Garrett Orr and Winchester Family Dentistry, proud smile partner of ESPN Radio Winchester.
There was an outline for today's show, but it didn't survive the opening segment. Back to Joe and Chewy on the starting lineup right here on ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester.
Back here on the starting lineup, ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester, Joe Abraham and Chewy. I did want to let you guys know the Estill Springs Diner is opening up soon. And I am really excited about this place. For me and my family, one of the things that's really tough is to eat out because it's so expensive. Now there are certain places where we can get away with it, but none of them are really set up just specifically for this thing. And so I'm really looking forward to it. The way that they plan on doing it is having like a family style.
Yeah.
Which I don't think we have family style restaurant around here.
Not to the degree of like the theatrics where you all sit together at the table.
Yeah, and you literally like you order the thing, they bring it out, and you guys scoop it out like Maggiano's up in. Yeah, that's a little bit out of your bracket, but you know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
So I am really excited about that.
There's one that everyone apparently has been to. I forget what it is, but it's like an hour away from here that people just enthuse about. So I'm glad that we are getting one closer to home.
I also would like to, as we start the second segment here, wish a happy birthday to it's Joey's birthday today.
It's Joey's birthday?
Yeah.
How old is Joey turning?
Don't know. 11.
11 years old.
11.
Hey, happy birthday, Joey. Hope you have an absolutely wonderful birthday, my
I've
friend.
got two. Don't ask me tough questions like that. I've got too many. I have like 27 kids. So.
I did want to say, though, Jim Sanders did jump in along with Alice Davis. So good morning, guys, on there. Jim and they were just shocked that the Battle of the Bypass wasn't a thing anymore.
Okay, so, yeah. Let me just really quickly check. The schedules for each of those teams look to be as follows. The last game for North on their schedule, September 24th against Eagleville. The last game for South, September 22nd against Giles County. I would assume that there is probably like the bowl game, conference bowl games or whatever. Here's my proposal. If those two teams are not playing in the conference championship game, in their respective conference championship game, to win their conference title, then they should be playing each other. And even if they are playing in the conference championship game, then they should still, the next week, play each other. I don't care if the regular season ends that last week or second to last week in September. It's September, guys. We can go another week. We can tack another week on there. And the basketball coaches and whoever, they're just going to have to figure it out. They're just going to have to deal. I'm just saying. Like this is heinous. It's what it is. Heinous. And I know everybody seems to want to play it. They just can't figure it out. Well, figure it out. Logistically, figure it out. Make it happen. Everybody's committed to it. I know. For example, I know head coach Landon Relford wants to play it. Like, that's how, when we talk about people that want to play it, like, everybody wants to play it.
Mhm.
This is why we do this. The other games, I mean, let me put it this way, Chewy. Last night, South beat Blanche by 64 points in 2 quarters. Beat them so bad, Blanche quit and went home at the half.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, you're more concerned about playing the Blanches of the world than playing your crosstown rival. Like, what do we need to do to play a game that actually matters rather than 2 quarters of a blowout? So before I continue on this whole we need to play the battle of the bypass game, I want to go back, and my main beef this morning is with that game last night. And I don't have beef with the kids from Blanche. I want to start by saying that. Okay? My main beef is not with the kids from Blanche. Yesterday, South and Blanche played, and Blanche was completely overwhelmed, 64-0 at halftime. I think there were more touchdowns, I'm told. I was not there. There were more touchdowns, I'm told, than tackles. Every time South got the ball, basically, they scored.
Wow.
And it's tough because if you're South, right, that you get some criticism. Well, why are we throwing the ball when we're up by 40 points? Well, yeah, but we only ran 10 offensive plays at that point. You know, like, it's not our fault. It's their job to stop us. It's not our fault. We're not even to halftime. We want to get something out of playing this game. North should have just showed up. Hey, Coach Landon should have called all the North kids. Hey, go get your stuff and come over here. We're going to play South in the second half. 64-0 at halftime. But Chewy, normally in that case, that wouldn't be where the game would end. We'd have a whole second half to play.
Right.
Not that anybody is anticipating Blanche to come back from a 64-point drubbing.
That's not really the point.
They weren't going to come back. Nobody was out there thinking, hey, boys, let's get a couple of stops, recover 9 consecutive fumbles, get an interception or 2, get a couple pick sixes, and boom, we're right back in this thing. Nobody was thinking that. The outcome of that game had been decided. I'm not saying that. Here is my beef. Despite South winning the game by halftime, when you are coaching kids, sometimes the lesson is considerably more important than the scoreboard. Let me say that again. The lessons that you teach children as a coach are considerably more important than the scoreboard. Now, I personally am a believer, Chewy, in extreme accountability. And if I am coaching a team that is losing 64-0 after one half of football, I'm certainly not blaming the kids. I'm not blaming my quarterback. It's not my offensive line play. It's not the linebacker who missed a tackle or the kids who seem disinterested in tackling whatsoever. I'm not blaming the kid who might be playing football for the first time. I'm not blaming some 11 or 12-year-old. I'm not blaming South because they're better than us. I'm not blaming them for throwing despite the fact that they're up by 40 points. I am looking in the mirror because I am the coach. I am the adult in the room. I run the practices. I install the offense. I install the defense. I teach the fundamentals. I determine the depth chart. I decide which kid is playing at which position. I determine what we emphasize every week. And ultimately, I put 11 kids on the field against the other guy's 11 kids. And football can get complicated. We can talk about schemes and rosters and talent, but also football, and the reason I love it so much, as a simpleton is football can also be really, really, really simple. Yes, there are 11 different guys on the field, but guess what? Every player, every one of those 11 guys has one job on a play. And you don't play all the plays at once. That one guy has to do his one job on that one play. Period. And then you move on to the next play. And you have another job on that next play. It's like eating an elephant. You don't eat it all at once, right? You take one bite at a time. That is a football game. You simplify one play at a time. South has 11 guys on the field. 11 individuals. So does Blanche. Snap the football. Block the guy in front of you. Keep contained. Force it back inside. But regardless of what the scheme is and all the things, it's still 11 on 11. And as a coach, it's your responsibility to put the 11 guys that you prepared in position to compete against the 11 kids they prepared. If you don't do that, that's on you as a coach. And as far as the excuses go, I don't want to hear excuses about depth or South had better athletes. Again, it doesn't, none of that gets you to 64-0. It's not about they're younger. It's still 11 on 11. There's still going to be holes on any roster. There's still going to be opportunities. And it may have an impact ultimately on who wins and loses the game, but not in that fashion. Yesterday, it wasn't the haves and the have-nots. It was a team that was giving effort, and there was a team that was not. There was a team that was prepared, and there was a team that was not. It was a lot more than just, oh, they're not as talented. Now, here's the thing. We're talking about reaching halftime and deciding we're done. And if I'm outmatched, I can't make my athletes better during halftime. I get that. I can't make sure that they line up correctly during halftime. I can't fix all the things. I can't fix effort during halftime. But I can give them something achievable to shoot for. Can we get a first down? Can we force a punt? Can we get a tackle behind the line of scrimmage? Somebody show me some good individual effort. Can we put together a handful of good plays? And as a community that's seen a lot of bad football in recent years, it doesn't take a lot, right, to start getting excited. We just need to string together a couple of good plays. Can we start with one? Let's get one good playoff where every 11 guys do their job. You're looking at 64 points. You think, and you stare at that 64 points, and you think that it's insurmountable because it is. So look at things that you can do. One play at a time. Line up. But that's not just where the adults failed in terms of putting all this into perspective. They were failed in preparation. They were failed during the game. And they were failed at halftime when the adults quit on them once again. When we come back, we're gonna talk a little bit more about this. What Blanche did last night is more devastating by quitting than by losing if they had lost by 100. I'll tell you why. It is a starting lineup. This is ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester.
The Starting Lineup with Joe and Chewy is presented by Loco in Winchester. Right here in Winchester, Loco is doing things their own way. From locally roasted Loco coffee to a one-of-a-kind shop experience. It's a place that's built for the Franklin County community. So if you haven't stopped by yet, now's the time. Support local. Drink Loco coffee, fueling Franklin County mornings. Roasted right here in Franklin County. And don't forget to tune into The Starting Lineup, weekdays from 7 to 9.
Stimulant misuse can take many forms. It may involve abusing methamphetamine or prescribed ADHD medication. Both carry real risks when not used safely or under medical supervision. Prevention starts with education and open communication. The Franklin County Prevention Coalition provides tools and local resources to help families make informed decisions. When we stay proactive, we are stronger together, and we are stronger without it. Learn more at fcpctn.org. This project is funded under a grant contract with the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services.
The wait is over. You asked, and they answered. Backstage Pawn in Winchester now carries suppressors from all major brands. That's right. Yankee Hill, they've got it. Dead Air, they've got it. And if they don't have it, they can get it. You want a specific model or style? The team at Backstage Pawn is here to help. Stop by today, check out their selection, and they handle the rest. The newest suppressor selection at Backstage Pawn, just off South College Street in Winchester.
It's time for a local news break from the 931 Go News Center.
With students back in the classrooms across the area, drivers are being reminded to use extra caution during the morning and afternoon commute. AAA is encouraging motorists to slow down in school zones, stop for school buses when required, put phones away, and stay alert for crossing guards and children walking or biking to school. Drivers should also allow a little extra time for their commute as families settle back into the school year routine. AAA says everyone on the road has a role to play in helping students arrive at school and return home safely each day. The Grundy County Sheriff's Office says 2 children are safe following a child neglect investigation in Altamont. Investigators partnered with the Department of Children's Services Friday at a residence on Canyon Drive after allegations that a child was being restrained to a bed. Authorities say DCS workers were confronted by an armed man who initially prevented them from continuing the investigation. Deputies responded and ultimately took Anthony Wiseman into custody after he allegedly failed to comply with commands. The 2 children were safely removed from the residence. Wiseman was charged with resisting arrest, while the child's father, Ernest Newbern of Florida, was charged with child neglect. North Elementary School was temporarily placed on a soft lockdown as a precaution during the incident. Both men are presumed innocent unless proven guilty in court. And Franklin County 4-H is offering local homeschool students another opportunity to get involved this fall. The 4-H Homeschool Club will hold meetings September 28th and November 2nd from 1 until 2 p.m. at the UT Extension Office on Joyce Lane in Winchester. The program gives homeschool students an opportunity to participate in 4-H activities while connecting with other young people in the community. For details on these stories and more, visit 931go.com. Stay informed and stay connected to your community with ESPN Radio Winchester.
Joe had to mix up some more pre-workout, but he's ready to go another round. Back to the starting lineup. This is ESPN Radio Winchester.
Back here on the starting lineup, ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester. Joe Abraham and Chewy. And Chewy, got a lot of people getting into the comments section.
Yeah, the whole thing, especially about the missed games, but the everything is sort of interesting. You know, Alice said the coaches need to get together and just do it, then ask for forgiveness later. Jim Sanders saying South is playing old school Miami Hurricane football. I love it. Ryan Fuller jumped in this morning. Good morning, Ryan. He says, if the North-South game does not play this year, I'd venture to say that is the first year the game wouldn't have been played since the schools were created in the 1960s. And then Jim Sanders came back. In the old days, Miami Hurricanes could be winning 72-0 and they would still be throwing it at the end in the end zone. I love it. # losing sucks. And that was sort of your point, where it sounded like, you were going to a certain conclusion with your...
Yeah, well, as from the South side of things, I do understand, like, mercy, but it's also, we're going to run our offense. We have to be prepared for the next game that we play. We are out here. So during the games, Chewy, those reps that you're taking, they're not just about that game. It's about getting better. Every rep that you take, you're in the process of learning and developing, especially at that middle school level. And so, practice is extremely important. I believe that practice is more important than the games at this level. Now, maybe not if you're Allen Iverson, but if you're a kid and you haven't made it yet, you're not getting paid yet to play this game, then every single rep is an opportunity to improve. And in fact, I believe that in life, every time we do the show, it's an opportunity to get better. And so my whole thing is, they're out there working, and they've run maybe 10, 15 offensive plays because the other team can't figure out a way to stop them. Well, what are we supposed to do? Just line up and practice our victory formation for the next 3 quarters? No, we're going to continue to run our offense. Figure it out. It's your job to figure it out. Figure out how to stop us. So I don't hold anything really against South in that regard. The people who are really to blame in all of this, I believe, are the adults from the Blanche side. And I'm going to continue this. I said that's my opinion that the boys were failed prior to being put on the field because they weren't properly prepared. They weren't ready to tackle. They weren't ready to run plays. They weren't ready to compete. That's failure number 1. And the consequences of that showed up on the football field and showed up on the scoreboard yesterday. But what really shows me the character of the adults within the Blanche program is how they dealt with that adversity. Not only were they not prepared to compete, they also, failure number 2, quit. The boys did not get the chance to decide. The boys did not get to say, Coach, put me back out there. The boys were not given the opportunity to respond to adversity, to show some pride, to accomplish one small positive thing in a game where winning was no longer possible. Instead, an adult, somebody made the decision, that's enough, we're done. And I do not like that lesson at all. My father, who is kind of a jerk. I mean, you think that I'm a jerk. He's a very, like, we all look at our dads. My dad is cut from an old school kind of cloth. He's like a throwback. My grandfather, very much the same. Suck it up, Buttercup. That's life. You know that Rocky speech, or life is going to beat you to your knees if you let... That's my dad. Now, at times, I would like a little softness from my father. Chewy and I have this running joke because he's never gotten a hug from me. That comes from, I don't think I can remember the last time my father's given me a hug. He'll shake my hand. He says, as soon as you come out of the... He turned to my mom when I was born and said, what do? I got to, like, shake his hand. I can't kiss him. He's a boy. That's my father. That's a little... I get it. That's a little over the top, right? A little over the top. But there are things that my father has taught me growing up that I really, really appreciate. I'm different. I'm not like that with my boys. I hug them before I put them to bed every night. We have a very much different relationship, but I also push them very hard. But one of the lessons that I will never forget from my father was how he taught me not to quit. He told me, once you quit, you're always a quitter. Once you quit, you are always a quitter. You finish something. And I understand the harsh reality of what that looks like when you take it literally in life and you apply it. If you quit something when you're 12 years old, you're condemned to being a quitter for the rest of your natural life. And that's not, I don't think, what he meant. What I think he was teaching me at that time was quitting gets easier after you do it the first time. Quitting gets easier after you do it the first time. The first time you cross that boundary, it's difficult. But once you've crossed it, now your brain knows that that option exists. And the next time adversity comes along, there is another possible response in your mind that opens up. I can quit. I remember, and it's ironic because my father went through something very similar in high school. I remember my senior year, I had worked and had really good success in the state of Florida in football. And I moved up to Huntsville, Alabama, and was playing football up there. My junior year, there were like 4 seniors in front of me on the depth chart at the receiver position. I was some slow white kid who should have been a tight end but didn't get big enough. And I could catch the ball, I could block. But these guys were in front of me on the depth chart. They had been there for years and years, put in the time and the effort and all the things. And there were no other juniors on the roster at the wide receiver position. But there were 4 sophomores. So I waited. I bided my time until I was a senior. And those sophomores became juniors behind me. And my senior year comes around, and now I, as a senior, am rotating with these 4 juniors now and losing playing time to these guys. And it was killing me because I was spending so much time on the sideline, and I had worked for it, and I was just as good, if not slightly better than each and every one of them. But they were getting playing time because the coaches wanted to develop them, because they saw the roster the next year. They knew what they were going to have, and they did. They won 10 games the year after I left because they had built up the talent. They had the best season I think that they've ever had as a school. But for me, I remember sitting in the truck with my father after one of the games where I didn't play as much as I wanted to. And I was in tears, and I'm asking him, why am I doing this? And his response to me was not that, oh, just push through it, it will get better. He didn't say it will get better. His response to me was, you can't quit. Because if you quit, you'll always be a quitter. But if you push through this, the lesson that you will learn is the most important thing that you'll take away from this. You'll learn how to deal with adversity. You'll learn how to fight through and get through to the other side. And if you quit, you'll regret it. You'll always wonder, will it get easier? No, you're losing 64-0. But if you quit, you're establishing a behavior. Quitting can be learned. But there is good news. Finishing can be learned too. Perseverance can be learned too. Accountability can be learned. Getting embarrassed and coming back tomorrow can be learned. Getting knocked down and getting back up, standing back up, can be learned. And isn't that the real reason that we're putting kids in sports? To me, youth football isn't really about football. Let's be real about something here. Despite what a lot of us wish for our kids, the majority of these kids, if not every single one playing football in the county right now, is not going to play in the NFL. And most of them aren't going to play Division I college football. Some of these middle schoolers will not play in high school. And eventually, every single one of them will play their last football game. So why do we do this? Why, as parents, do we spend the money, give up our evenings? Why are we taking kids to practice? Why are we pushing them through practice when it's 95 degrees outside? Why do we put them through the conditioning? Why do we make sure that they show up on time? Why do we demand accountability? Because football teaches you things that they'll use when football is gone. Discipline, teamwork, accountability, perseverance, all of these things that I've been talking about. Do your job when you are tired, when you don't want to, when you're frustrated, when things aren't fair. And most importantly, do your job when you know you can't win. Because that's adulthood. That's life. Sometimes life is up 64-0 on you. Been there. There is no running clock in life. They could have put him back out there for the second half, and the last half of that football game would have flown by. Probably wouldn't have been enough time for South to score much more if they wanted to. So what should Blanche have done? This part is so incredibly simple to me. Just play the second half. Go out there, play through the running clock. If both coaches want to shorten the quarters a little bit, okay. Put your starters back out there and get after it. Maybe South isn't throwing deep balls. Maybe they're not blitzing every snap. Maybe they're not trying to score 130 points. They're just trying to manage the situation with some sportsmanship at that point. Maybe you have that conversation if you're the coaches, but you finish the game. Because if I'm Blanche's coach, I'm walking into the locker room at halftime, and I'm taking accountability. I'm showing them how to take accountability. The scoreboard is on me. I did not prepare you for tonight. We're not going to win this football game. So forget the score. We're going to go back out onto the field. We're going to find things that we can accomplish. We're going to make a first down. We're going to start tackling. We are going to force a punt. We're going to put together a drive. But we're going to play for the guy standing next to us. And when the clock hits 0 and the game ends, we're going to walk across the field, shake their hands, and finish what we started. And tomorrow, we're going to work on getting better. Today, we're going to practice losing with dignity. Somewhere along the way, I think that we've gotten this idea in our heads that protecting kids means protecting them from feeling bad. I don't believe that. That is crippling. And while I don't think that you purposefully and intentionally humiliate a child, you don't maybe run up the score on them just because you can. You don't scream at a 12-year-old just because he missed a tackle maybe necessarily. But losing is not abusive. Failure is not abuse. Embarrassment is not the end of the world. Sometimes you get your butt kicked. We've all been there. Everybody listening to this show has experienced something where somebody else was simply better, dominated them. There is dignity in learning how to say, you know what, you got me today, shaking their hand, going home, figuring out why, working to get better, and compete tomorrow. That's sports. That's the point. There is no shame in losing 64-0 if you gave everything that you have. But there is a big difference between losing and deciding to quit at halftime. And that wasn't a decision that the kids made. I can tell you that. We'll be back on the other side to wrap up hour number 1. This is the starting lineup, ESPN Radio Winchester.
This is ESPN Radio Winchester, where Franklin County comes to life. From local news and athletics to everything in between, we're proud to bring you the stories that matter right here at home. And it's all made possible by local businesses connecting with real people in our community every single day. When you support them, you support our local coverage. Over 75 years of Franklin County heritage. Want your business to be a part of it? Contact WCDT today. ESPN Radio Winchester. Franklin County plays here.
Why choose More Courtney Funeral Home? Well, they're a fifth-generation funeral home taking care of the people of Franklin County since 1905. They're committed to serving you, dedicated to providing personalized, professional, compassionate service to help lighten your burden and help you out during these difficult times. More Courtney Funeral Home, 300 First Avenue Northwest in Winchester, 967-2222. More Courtney Funeral Home.
Got a project to tackle or a party to plan? Skip the stress and rent it instead at Reliable Rental in Winchester. From tools and heavy-duty machines to chairs, tables, and event essentials, they've got what you need to get the job done right. Whether it's work or a weekend celebration, Reliable Rental makes it easy. Stop by 2433 Deckard Boulevard in Winchester or check out everything they offer online at reliablerentalfc.com. Reliable Rental. When you need it, they've got it.
If your life depended on the mission succeeding, what would you care about? Would you care about the demographics of the crew? The moon does not care about your politics, doesn't care about your hashtags. It does not care about where you lie on social media arguments. It doesn't care whether you're male or female or black or white or rich or poor or conservative or liberal or religious or atheist or anything else, because reality does not negotiate. It just is. You can disagree with the facts, but they don't care about your feelings. It is a starting lineup. Thank you for tuning in. This is ESPN Radio Winchester.
There was an outline for today's show, but it didn't survive the opening segment. Back to Joe and Chewy on the starting lineup right here on ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester.
All right, wrapping up hour number 1. Here's the part that really bothers me, too, back here on the starting lineup, Chewy, is, the South kids lost something, too. I mean, you think about the kids who normally don't get to play a whole lot. South goes up 64 points. You know who gets an opportunity is the backup quarterback, the backup running back, the second-team guys, the younger kids. The kids' parents also came to the game to see play as well, the kids who put the practice in, put the work in. That it could have been a great opportunity for them to learn and gain some really strong experience. The kid who's standing there on the sideline thinking, man, I'm going to get in tonight. I'm going to get into this game. They built up this massive lead, and now you get to rotate some guys around and get a look, and all of a sudden, boom, the game's over. No second half. So ironically, ending the game was supposed to protect a group of kids and their feelings. It also took opportunities away and created disappointment for another group of kids. I mean, those developmental snaps matter in middle school. But the part that I keep coming back to is the lesson that the Blanche boys left Franklin County High School with yesterday. Because the lesson ultimately was, when things get bad enough, we'll just deuces. Peace out, we're leaving.
Yeah.
I don't want my kids learning that lesson. I don't want the kids that I've ever coached learning that lesson. Football will end. Eventually, those kids are going to be 35 years old with a family and a mortgage and a job and a marriage that's struggling and a business that's struggling. Maybe he got fired. Maybe something happens that he never saw coming. The big C shows up somewhere in his life, and he is down 64-0. What happens then? There's no opposing coach who agrees to stop the game. There's no official who turns on the running clock. There's no bus waiting to take him home because everybody decided that it got uncomfortable or that it was an unwinnable situation. The lesson matters more than the outcome of the game. None of this is directed at the boys on the Blanche team. I feel for them. They had a terrible night. They ran into a South team that is considerably better than them, and props to South. I think that's what's getting lost in all of this is, how well South played, how well they were prepared. They earned that win. But the Blanche kids deserved an opportunity to finish. They deserved an adult standing in front of them at halftime saying, I'm not quitting on you. That's what's disappointing. We're probably going to get beat worse, guys, but I'm staying, you're staying, and we're going to walk out on that field together. If we're going to get beat, we're going to finish this thing. We're going to get beat together. We're going to get embarrassed together. We're going to fail together, and we're going to keep going. Because they had lost that game at halftime. That's not the argument. But the game was not over. The lesson was not over. Like I said, quitting gets easier once you've done it before. So, stand up, line up, play the next snap, finish what you started. That's the most important thing they could have learned yesterday. In hour number 2, Franklin County got the shaft on these Tennessean high school football rankings. A lot of people can't get in to see the rankings because they don't have a Tennessean subscription. I have them. We're going to talk about them. Also, seemed to upset a lot of people. We started talking about the whole North-South game. That seemed to fire some people up. Let's talk a little bit more about that. I like you guys getting excited about something. We'll do that next. It is the starting lineup. This is ESPN Radio Winchester.
Foundation problems rarely improve on their own. Soil movement, moisture, poor drainage, and natural settling can all affect the stability of your home. Addressing the problem early may help you prevent more complicated and more expensive repairs later. John Davenport Construction provides foundation repair, structural reinforcement, waterproofing, and crawl-space solutions throughout Franklin County and the surrounding area. Visit jdfoundationpro.com. John Davenport Construction, a strong home starts with a strong foundation.
Got a project to tackle or a party to plan? Skip the stress and rent it instead at Reliable Rental in Winchester. From tools and heavy-duty machines to chairs, tables, and event essentials, they've got what you need to get the job done right. Whether it's work or a weekend celebration, Reliable Rental makes it easy. Stop by 2433 Deckard Boulevard in Winchester or check out everything they offer online at reliablerentalfc.com. Reliable Rental. When you need it, they've got it.
Kids, pets, muddy shoes. Life happens. That's why more homeowners are choosing beautiful, durable flooring from Discount Floors and More. From waterproof luxury vinyl plank to hardwood, tile, and carpet, their team will help you find the right floor for your home and your budget. With over 30 years of experience and professional installation, you can buy with confidence. Discount Floors and More on the bypass in Winchester and on the web at discountfloorsandmoretn.com. There are all kinds of guys, video game guys, gym guys, even romantic guys. Let's be honest, not all guys are built the same. We're garage guys, and a garage door moves more than any other part of your home. So when it starts wearing down, the garage guys are here to serve Bedford, Coffee, Franklin, Lincoln, and Moore County with high-quality work you can trust, unlike those unreliable guys. Call Garage Guys today or find them online at garageguys931.com. Garage Guys, built different.
It is the starting lineup. So the World Cup is going on right now in America, which means we have visitors from all corners of the world. They spend the last couple of weeks thinking, you know what? Americans aren't that bad. Nothing says welcome to America like a Belgian soccer fan waking up at 7:30 to some guy named Randy blowing up mortars in the backyard and a sleeveless Dale Earnhardt shirt. Welcome to America!
I'm
Kristen Abraham, curator of Abraham Art Gallery right on the square in downtown Winchester. Looking for something unique? Every month brings a new featured artist, original art to inspire and share with the community. Come in, explore, and discover art that's ready to go home with you today. Whether you're redecorating, collecting, or just need something that sparks joy, this is your place. We're open Tuesday through Saturday. Find us on Instagram and Facebook. Visit abrahamgallery.com or stop by at 106 North High Street.
The Vols play here. WCDT 1340 AM, W295 AV, 1069 FM. Broadcasting live from the ESPN Radio Winchester studio, it's the starting lineup. Now, here are your hosts, Joe Abraham and Chewy.
Back here for hour number 2 on the starting lineup, ESPN Radio 1340, 1069 WCDT Winchester. Joe Abraham and Chewy waiting on Deckard Elementary to call in this morning.
Had quite a few people jump into the Facebook chat. In particular, John Korak came by, said life lessons have to be learned. Sports teaches that as long as hard work has results. Doug Garrett also jumped in saying, oh, hey, Brett. Oh, yeah, look at that. Chewy and Joe are also in here, too.
Yeah. There you go.
Ryan Fuller says, I agree, Joe. The biggest life lessons I learned playing football my sophomore year. We were traveling over from North Junior High at that time every day at the high school for spring practice. I specifically remember one day I didn't want to go. I was tired of getting my head beat by seniors, but my dad gave me the spill of if you quit now, you're going to quit everything in life. Sometimes you got to suck it up and deal with it. I went out there in that day and still got my head smashed in, but I believe that still stands true. It is a habit, and it's easy to start heartbreak and hard to break. John Korak says, giving up teaches a child nothing, and wonder why addiction and quitting life cripples so many of our youth. Probably a generational thing. Never heard of that mindset when I was a kid. Very disheartening. And then there's definitely a lot more, but Decker's calling us, so we're going to jump into that.
All right, let's get that in
here. Good morning, Deckard.
Good morning, WCDT.
How are you guys this morning?
We are wonderful on this Wednesday morning. How are you guys?
Oh, we're doing just fine. We're enjoying some of the sunshine while we got it. So I say let's start off our day with a positive, really good pledge.
We've got 4 very excited 5th graders from Miss Jackson's class ready to make that happen.
All right, let's hear it.
Good morning, Franklin County. Please join Deckard Elementary as we stand, salute, and pledge. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Beautiful pledge. Thank you so much, guys.
Check it right here in the speaker. Come on all the way up.
My name is Sophie, and I have this fun fact. Lobsters have blue blood.
Really?
Did you know that?
I did not. That's fascinating.
I didn't either. Very interesting. Thank you, Sophie.
All right. Well, thank you so much for that fun fact. I hope y'all have a wonderful day out there, Deckard.
You guys too. Thank you so much.
See ya.
Bye.
Blue blood.
What was the fact?
Rock lobsters have blue blood. So do horseshoe crabs.
Really?
It's because they have more copper in their blood. Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah.
Who knew?
And then some arthropods have green blood because they have phosphorus.
That's cool.
We have red because we have iron.
I haven't cut you open yet. I'm not sure what color your blood is. I'm fairly certain you're alien, and I'm all kinds of interested now. What else we got in the chat then?
Brett Crabtree jumped in talking about that. He says, no matter how much money that goes into those games on both sides. Jim Sanders jumped in saying, the North-South Battle of the Boulevard is a Franklin County tradition. The stands is always packed. People who don't even have kids in the school system go to that game. Surely Dr. Alsop doesn't want to start a center as superintendent with a disappointment. It's not Dr. Alsop.
It's definitely not him.
No.
He has gotten involved in the process, which really he shouldn't have to even, right? It's definitely not a him thing. Everybody involved, here's what I have come to understand. Everybody involved has agreed that whether or not it's played this year, it's unacceptable for it to not be played.
Right.
And so if this does not get done, it will be in the future. But my goal is, through using the power of you guys, our listeners, let's create a little extra motivation. Not in a nasty way. Let's tell the school district, let's tell these coaches, let's tell these players, let's tell everybody, the basketball coaches even involved, and it's not the basketball coach's fault either, but let's tell everybody involved how important it is to us as a community that they play this game. Let's get them to play it.
Cordially and politely.
Yes, I think that we can get them to play it.
Just show your enthusiasm for it.
Yeah, in a positive way.
Doug Garrett jumped in saying the game of football, more than any other sport, offers life lessons if you let it. And then Katie jumped back in here at the bottom saying, happy birthday, Joey.
Yes. I mentioned this yesterday. If you've got a birthday that you'd like to wish somebody, jump into the FMO Facebook feed, drop the happy birthday in there, let us know who it is, and we will give them the shout-out. If we see it, we will give them a shout-out. All right, so yes, I think that, the rivalry, when we joke about it being important enough to help justify maintaining two separate middle school identities, but not apparently important enough to make sure it's even played every year, that's beef worthy.
Sure.
Like, that's where I'm at with this thing. So they're not currently scheduled to play. North and South in Franklin County, not playing. Again, I kind of explained in the first hour how this happened with the roster size fluctuation and them trying to find conferences that they're competitive with and all the things and the circumstances that surround both of the programs. It's been a tumultuous time in Franklin County football over the last few years. And if you don't believe me, you can simply look at the win-loss record over the last few years. You can look at situations like this, right? This is a result of the last few years. So when I come to people and I say, hey, leadership, we've got a problem with our current state of things, the teams, if you recall, Chewy, last year, I was calling for North and South to be combined because they did not have enough players to be competitive. And everybody was like, you're crazy. And at this point, I do look crazy because now they do have enough players to develop and grow, and it's better for Franklin County High School if we have two full North and South programs, but it's also good if they're competing against one another. And I'm not pretending to understand the logistical issues. I get it. I get there are circumstances surrounding the programs that cause a challenge. My point is, and I think a lot of people within the community would agree with me, I don't care.
Here's my other
That's everybody's argument.
Yeah.
Literally, you could pull any other game off the conference. I would go as far to say this, Chewy. I would say that winning or playing against one another is more important than winning some random conference championship. I think that for the people of this community, the North-South game is more important. You know how I said earlier in the show, I said, yeah, if they're in the conference championship game, then we'll play it the week after. And I get it. They've got a responsibility to the conference. They've got to live up to the conference. They don't want to create bad blood there. You know, they're playing in these teams and stuff like that. But I would go as far to say that for people in this community, they care more about playing each other than any conference championship they could win. Am I wrong? If I'm wrong, jump in the chat and tell me so. Say, no, I'd rather win a conference championship than play North or South.
Does it have to be like a quote-unquote official school game, though? Couldn't they just have the North team and the South team play each other after the season and have just a unique special Battle of the Bypass Bowl?
It should be its own special bowl.
Right.
I would say, you know, if we're in this position right now, I would say this is a perfect opportunity to define what that looks like going forward. Okay, let's talk about it. Per Chewy's point, what if we opened up the season with this game? What if every year this was the kickoff game? Or what if it was the game at the end of the season? I don't know what the Butter Bowl was. I don't know what that was. I know that we had bowls in the past where there was a trophy and all the things. Let me ask this question. Does anybody know where the trophy currently is? I believe South has it, but where it actually is and what it is called and is it continuing to be kept up? Because I've seen a lot of very quote-unquote important trophies over at Franklin County High School that are sitting in a closet that Coach Reed is trying to get refurbished and get put back on display, you know, because it's important. What those players accomplished, you know, generations ago is important to the kids now and to what we're trying to rebuild and all the things. But do we take enough pride in the trophy? Is it time for a new trophy? Is it time for a new spin on this tradition? Or is that trophy still, I don't know. Again, I'm newer to the community and newer to the middle school football and all the things. I'm newer to the rivalry. I get that. And I'm speaking on things that I maybe don't know about. But I've seen the basketball. Last year called the basketball games between these two teams. I'd never seen anything like it.
So me and Alice are on the same wavelength here. She says the game would make a good fundraiser game. All ticket sales split or go to the school football programs, or do a pink out style game and all proceeds go to the Multi-County Cancer Support Network. So it's like, I feel like there's multiple options here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The ticket sales for this game, so again, it could be, it doesn't have to be a home versus away type of situation. You play it over at the high school, obviously. We'll fill up the stands. The ticket sales for this game could fundraise and meet both teams' needs for the entire season just about. Like if they split the gate on this game alone, they would really probably not need to do a whole lot of fundraising the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm.
If both teams are very good, which they appear to be both very good this year. But them not playing each other, this is not like they're an hour away. They literally play at the same stadium. So this is the game. The kids know each other. The parents know each other. They play baseball together. They play other sports together. They probably played youth football together. They're going to be going to high school together. They go to church together. Some of them are probably cousins. But what makes it fun, Chewy, is that for 1 week, they can't stand each other.
Yeah, we get to have that, you know, for a little while. Or it's our cultural catharsis in the county.
What about the poor kids that you're taking this away from? There are kids on these rosters who deserve to play in these games.
Well, shoot, Joe, there's kids on these rosters whose parents played that game.
Exactly. Like they looked forward to, if you're an 8th grader, you've been talking about and building up towards this game, and now it's just not there anymore. And it's one of those things where when you talk about from a rivalry standpoint and things like that, these rivalries are organic. They develop long before anybody else gets involved. Like ESPN doesn't have to manufacture rivalries between college football teams. They've existed for 100 years. Same thing with this one. The rivalry existed long before I got here. The station got here and started talking about any of it. the world didn't just Franklin County didn't just start when ESPN Radio Winchester showed up. WCDT has been here for 75 years, and these two teams have been playing each other for most of that time.
Anthony Engel jumped in saying it could be a great fundraiser to turf the field. And then, see?
That's a good idea.
Now you get the fundraiser, yeah. Alice also jumped back in saying grandparents and great-grandparents played that game. So this is, it's a big deal. And again, we're not saying go and attack anybody. That's not what we're saying. It's nobody's fault.
Anthony Engel may have just provided the best idea. So what if we had a fundraiser game, North and South, that was specifically geared towards raising funds to turf the high school? So in that, all youth football could benefit. If you've been up to and seen the football field at this point, it's not in the greatest shape to start the season. It's not in the greatest shape. And the field itself, for people don't realize, those fields, the base of those fields, every so often, they need to be completely replaced anyway. You need to rebuild the crown from the ground up. You need to do a lot of work on them. And that field is beginning to fail anyway. They're trying to determine what to do, but you've got that other football stadium on the boulevard that is crumbling, and the city and the county and everybody involved in that whole thing, they have essentially determined that they're not going to funnel more money into that. Let's turn this into a fundraiser to ensure that all of these players can play over at the high school without wearing out that field, the natural field. They're doing it down in Huntsville. The county is going through and returfing a bunch of their fields.
Oh, wow.
Because it saves so much money on maintenance.
Huh.
Look into that. All right. We'll be back on the other side with more. This is ESPN Radio 1340, 1069, WCDT Winchester.
Good coffee recognizes good coffee. That's why Pivot Coffee proudly serves Franklin County's own Loco Coffee. Whether you're meeting friends, catching up on work, or simply taking a few minutes for yourself, you'll find locally roasted flavor in every cup. It's another example of local businesses supporting local businesses and giving you yet another great place to enjoy Loco Coffee. Stop by Pivot Coffee and taste the difference.
From the 931 Go Weather Center, it's time for an ESPN Radio Winchester weather update, presented by Bennett's Pharmacy.
Got a 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms headed your way this afternoon. Otherwise, mostly sunny with a high of 90 degrees. But our heat index value is jumping up to 98. And then we're going to have some calm winds only around 5 miles per hour this afternoon. Stay cool while you stay tuned to ESPN Radio Winchester, 1340 1069.
At Bennett's Pharmacy in Winchester, we're more than a pharmacy. We're your partner in health. Conveniently located at 1201 Dinah Shore Boulevard, we're here to serve you with fast, friendly, and personalized service. Need prescriptions filled? Looking for over-the-counter products? We've got you covered. Plus, enjoy local delivery and expert advice from our caring team. Call us today at 931-967-2777 or stop by Bennett's Pharmacy at 1201 Dinah Shore Boulevard today.
We apologize if this is your first time, but yes, unfortunately, this is normal. You're listening to the starting lineup on ESPN Radio 1340 1069, WCDT Winchester.
All right, back here on the starting lineup, ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester. Chewy, what do we got in the chat?
Brett jumped in talking about the new lights and stuff over there that's probably needed at the stadium. Crystal Ray jumped in this morning, just shocked at the whole north-south thing. So it's a point of contention.
It is, and it's not. There's not a one person to blame type of thing. This is one of those things where both programs are trying to figure out a way to be competitive. They're looking to do what's best for their kids within there. And they started going in different directions. But it stems from, and I mentioned this, it stems from the turmoil surrounding the football program in recent years. Now, on the flip side of that, where we have, like how far we have come in the last 6-8 months cannot be overstated. Is that the right way of saying that? Overstated enough?
Yeah.
Understated enough? Something stated enough. I cannot emphasize it enough. Because we've come so far that both North and South are currently undefeated. I believe, did Huntland win yesterday? Huntland may also be undefeated in middle school football. I got to check on that, which, by the way, Coach Mike Jernigan, Huntland Middle School, is going to be on tonight's coaches show at Jefferson's. We mentioned that in hour number 1 as well. Huntland folks, come on out, support Coach Jernigan in that program. But the point is not just the wins and losses. The rosters have grown. The kids have gotten interested. The high school football roster has continued to grow. And so has North. Like North added like 3 or 4 players this past week, the first week of school. And so has the high school.
Huntland lost 8-0.
Oh. Thank you, Doug, for the update. So that's the first loss. We're like 2 weeks into the season. The county as a whole is like 5-1 right now, in football. So good job by all of the teams involved. And then this Friday, we got a scrimmage between Huntland and Franklin County. Now, when I say how far we have come in football as a community, and that it can't be, emphasized enough, I specifically would like to take a shot this morning at the Tennessean. That's right. I've got beef with the Tennessean. The Tennessean they decided to rank 136 high school football teams across Middle Tennessee heading into this season. It wasn't a top 10. This is not a top 25. This is not even a top 50. This is 136 Middle Tennessee football teams. Every one of them supposedly placed precisely where they belong, according to the Tennessean, which is interesting because I wonder how they come up with this information. Your Franklin County Rebels come in at number 101 out of 136. 101. Now, here is my beef. Show your work. Because if you're going to tell me that you evaluated 136 high school football teams closely enough to determine that Franklin County isn't number 90, not number 95, they're not 100, but they're precisely the 101st best team out of 136 in Middle Tennessee alone, I want to know how we arrived there. Because before somebody clips this and says, oh, Franklin County guy, local radio guy thinks that Franklin County should be number 1. No, I don't. I'm not predicting that Franklin County is going to go undefeated or that they're going to win a state championship. I'm not guaranteeing you a specific record. That's not my argument. My argument is that I have actually seen this football team. I've seen these kids. I've watched them this summer. I've watched them through 7-on-7, through their scrimmages. I've watched Baylor Hayes at quarterback. I've watched him move through his progressions. I've seen what they are capable of. Logan Polkenhorn, Monte Johnson, Austin Heath. I've seen Monte Johnson burn defense after defense after defense. Austin Heath comes over from the basketball team. Their offense is going to be absolutely explosive, and their defense is scary. Now, what they're physically capable of and mentally capable of are two different things. What they're going to be able to, but that's why we play the games, and I'm excited to see the growth. I'm excited to see the development. But I am telling you, I've seen a football team that does not look like the 101st team in Middle Tennessee. Could I be wrong? No. No, I'm telling you right now, there's a lot of things in life where you say, oh, Joe, you could be wrong about this. I mean, they could be 101st. For them to be 101st, they would have to lose almost every game on their schedule because every single one of the teams listed that they play from Middle Tennessee is ranked ahead of them. And I am telling you, they're going to shock people this year. Joe, they won one game last year. They're where they should be. I know. I am aware of how many games they've won over the last 2 years. I've called them all. You don't have to send me the record. But if you're telling me that somebody in Nashville who has not seen Franklin County this summer understands what they're capable of better than me, you don't know. You don't. It's not possible. And I've seen good football teams. I've seen bad football teams. I've watched football teams in this region over the summer. I've been to different practices. And you can't tell me that this is the same team that they've been. You can't tell me that they're not better than a lot of these teams on their schedule. Last year's record, the year before's record, does not tell me what they're going to be capable of this year. And just because a team that was good last year had a sophomore who's now a junior, or a quarterback who was a junior and now a senior, there is a natural progression there in terms of how much better they get when there's a level of consistency. They got the same coach and they're building upon. Yeah, there's a level of growth that happens with programs when you rotate through and you have they've got more seniors this year. They're going to be very good. A lot of times that is the case if you've got a level of consistency. But nobody can account for the amount of and the type of changes that Franklin County has undergone in this past offseason. From culture to the roster to the coaching staff to the scheme, confidence. How much can a team change in one offseason? We're about to get a really good picture. But my problem is with the Tennessean and their arbitrary rankings and how they drop Franklin County. Because where they put Franklin County would argue that this is going to be a really rough year. Franklin County's ranked 101st. Coffee County's ranked 86th. That's 15 spots ahead of Franklin County. Warren County's 96th. 5 spots ahead of them. Providence Christian Academy, 62nd. That's 39 spots ahead of us. Lawrence County, 56th. 45 spots ahead of us. Tullahoma, 39th. 62 spots ahead of us. Lincoln County, 26th. That's 75 spots ahead of us. And Columbia, number 20, is 81 positions ahead of us. Out of the 136 schools in Middle Tennessee. And if you're telling me that Franklin County is 101st and Columbia is 20th, then you're predicting something that's going to happen when those two teams play, right? Because an 81 position difference in their rankings does not say to me, hey, this is going to be a pretty good football game. You're telling me that these programs are in completely different universes is what you're saying. Same thing with Tullahoma being 62 spots better.
Archie Schrader was curious about what's the classification, what classification is the ranking listed? They were also asking if Huntland was listed as well. And then Brett Crabtree was curious about Coffee County.
Yes, Coffee County, as I mentioned, was 86th. It is not a classification deal. Huntland is ranked 95th. 95th, which is 6 spots ahead of Franklin County. It's not a classification deal. So Huntland's on it, as is Franklin County. 1A, 5A, 6A, doesn't matter. It is simply a straight up, here's our rankings of all of these schools across all of Middle Tennessee. And nobody, I don't think that anybody did any actual research on this list. It is just an arbitrary list to get people reading and talking about it, which I am doing, but they're absolutely clueless. They have no idea what Franklin County even looks like. I can guarantee you, because there are teams on this list that we have scrimmaged in the preseason that we would absolutely beat the smoke off of, beat the ever living out of. And they have no clue. They have no clue what they're talking about. We'll be back on the other side. It is the starting lineup. This is ESPN Radio Winchester.
For 20 years, Sheriff Tim Fuller has led with one priority: keeping Franklin County safe. Safe schools, safe churches, safe neighborhoods, safe streets. Day or night, Tim Fuller has been there when our community needed him. No catchy campaign slogans, no empty promises, just proven leadership, hard work, and a record for turning ideas into action. Experience matters. Leadership matters. On Election Day, re-elect Sheriff Tim Fuller and keep Franklin County moving forward. Election Day is August 6th. This ad was paid for by the candidate.
When it comes to beef, the smartest way to buy is straight from the source. At Max Meat Processing, you can stock your freezer with whole, half, or quarter beef, saving money while getting premium, locally raised meat you can trust. No additives, no preservatives, just real beef. And if bulk isn't an option, no problem. Max Meat Market has you covered by the pound. Max Meat Processing, your hometown source for quality beef.
At Citizens Community Bank, we're here to make your banking easy and convenient. Whether you're visiting us in person at our main location at 1418 Dinah Shore Boulevard in Winchester, or others in Deckard and Huntland, or managing your money on the go with our secure mobile app, we've got you covered. Call us today at 931-967-3342. That's Citizens Community Bank, Equal Housing Lender Member FDIC. Your trusted partner in banking for over 30 years.
It's time for a local news break from the 931 Go News Center.
With students back in the classrooms across the area, drivers are being reminded to use extra caution during the morning and afternoon commute. AAA is encouraging motorists to slow down in school zones, stop for school buses when required, put phones away, and stay alert for crossing guards and children walking or biking to school. Drivers should also allow a little extra time for their commute as families settle back into the school year routine. AAA says everyone on the road has a role to play in helping students arrive at school and return home safely each day. The Grundy County Sheriff's Office says 2 children are safe following a child neglect investigation in Altamont. Investigators partnered with the Department of Children's Services Friday at a residence on Canyon Drive after allegations that a child was being restrained to a bed. Authorities say DCS workers were confronted by an armed man who initially prevented them from continuing the investigation. Deputies responded and ultimately took Anthony Wiseman into custody after he allegedly failed to comply with commands. The 2 children were safely removed from the residence. Wiseman was charged with resisting arrest, while the child's father, Ernest Newbern of Florida, was charged with child neglect. North Elementary School was temporarily placed on a soft lockdown as a precaution during the incident. Both men are presumed innocent unless proven guilty in court. And Franklin County 4-H is offering local homeschool students another opportunity to get involved this fall. The 4-H Homeschool Club will hold meetings September 28th and November 2nd from 1 until 2 p.m. at the UT Extension Office on Joyce Lane in Winchester. The program gives homeschool students an opportunity to participate in 4-H activities while connecting with other young people in the community. For details on these stories and more, visit 931go.com. Stay informed and stay connected to your community with ESPN Radio Winchester.
When it comes to caring for your loved ones, choose a name you can trust. Inhabit Home Health in Winchester, located at 2068 Cowan Highway. We're here to provide compassionate professional care right in the comfort of your own home. From skilled nursing to therapy services, Our team is dedicated to helping you or your loved ones achieve the best quality of life. Call Inhabit Home Health today at 931-967-0633 to learn more about our personalized care plans.
I don't know what to tell you. I know it's not much, but this is the best they've got. You're listening to the starting lineup on ESPN Radio, WCDT Winchester.
Back here on the starting lineup, ESPN Radio, 1340, 1069, WCDT, Winchester, Joe Abraham, and Chewy. And talking about these Tennessean rankings, Chewy, lots of folks jumping in on the FMO Facebook feed.
Andrew jumped in this morning. Good morning, Andrew.
Good morning, Andrew.
Archie Schrader jumped in saying, this coverage of Franklin County and Hunland has been outstanding. I will be at the games this year because of it. Well, okay, good to hear that, Archie. Appreciate that. Always love hearing that people go out and support these kids out there.
Yeah.
You know, and those ticket sales, by the way, they mean more than people realize because there's multiple programs that money goes to. So.
Yeah. So for Franklin County, this is a good example. You've got, when you go to the Franklin County games this year, right? So you've got the ticket sales, which go back into the programs. You've got the merch sales, which in Franklin County's situation, the quarterback club puts on the merch sales. And they have a partnership with a few different local businesses, local organizations. These type of hats, these FC hats and stuff like that, the gear that you see me wearing comes from Fincham Sportswear. And Fincham is a huge supporter of our show and of our gear, provider for all of our stuff. Their stuff is such high quality, so good, that when look, you got the little FC thing on the back here. Underneath the hat in the ribbon, I don't know if you can see this, it says Rebels on the ribbon inside there. It says Rebels on the side of the hat. The material is like this light, soft, summery type of, doesn't make my head hot, which is important because I'm already bald as it is. Can't afford to lose any more hair.
Jay Cool jumped in the chat.
Hey, there's a country unheard from.
It's been a while, Jay. How are you? He says, good morning, fellow Hoagie Rollers. Good morning, Jay. It's good to see you, brother.
So when you go to the games and you pick up one of these from the merch booth that the quarterback club is selling, the quarterback club then takes that money and funnels it right back into the players' needs, right? Could be paying for their pre-meal or pregame meals and all the other stuff that they need. The quarterback club has supported the coaching staff and the players in ways that you may not realize. There is things that the Coach Reed wants, that need to be repairs that need to be made to equipment, bags for like blocking sleds and things like that need to be purchased. The average player's gear. It all kind of comes out of the same budget, right? So, like, the coach has his budget from the school and what they're able to get from ticket sales, and then you've got the quarterback club stuff. Well, it all kind of is used for a lot of the same stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the quarterback club is there to kind of fill the gap. One of the things that I know that they just recently purchased for the team was this piece of technology. This came from the quarterback club. So when you go to the things like the dinner, the Philip Fulmer dinner, and you go to the golf tournament and you participate in these things, these are the things, the tools, right, for success. They're like these little, almost like little Apple Watches or something like that. Like it's a little screen. And during practice, as they're running scout team, instead of back in the old days, we'd all huddle up. You get in the huddle. They hold up a sheet. Hey, this is what the other team's play looks like. You're the X receiver. I want you to run an out route. And everybody's got to go to the huddle, take time, figure out what they need to run on that particular play, and go back out and run the play. Well, that takes time, right? And when it comes to running, the quicker you can run these plays, if you got the kids moving quickly, that helps with conditioning. They want to run a high-paced offense. They want to run tempo. And so slowing down and looking at these plays takes away from them running more plays. It takes away from the defense, which, again, when the scout team offense is running plays, the goal is to get the defense as many good looks as possible. Well, they've got these little Apple Watch thingies now. Can't remember what they're called. But essentially, it shows each position, this is your job. So they run a play, they can come back, line back up, look at their wrist. Oh, I got an out route here. Boom. Oh, I need to block the end here. Boom. Run it. Run it. Line up and run it. And so they can get more looks. That's the type of stuff that they're able to incorporate. And some of it is more wants versus needs that comes from the quarterback club side of things as we can. But those wants are geared towards improving the on-field product, that how good these guys' performance is. There is technology like this that can help our guys to get better.
Katie jumped in talking about Fincham, saying Fincham Sports Mirror, the material's like butter. The craftsmanship is top-notch, and every article is gorgeous. I've never owned so many hats until Fincham came into my life. J. Cole jumped back in saying, I apologize for my absence. Life has been very busy, especially as a new chapter commander. Hey, well, congratulations as chapter commander. No worries, my friend. We understand life gets it can get hectic, so we just appreciate you coming and spending some time with us this morning.
I get calls and texts pretty much daily asking, who is it that handles your stuff? Who is it that does your gear?
Yeah.
What's that guy's name?
Alan Fincham.
Alan and Micah. Fincham Sportswear. Anyway, so back to the conversation that we were having about these Tennessean rankings. The average ranking of Franklin County's Middle Tennessee opponent, which this is just 136. You're like, what is that number? It's the Middle Tennessee region. The Tennessean only focused on the Middle Tennessee region. The average opponent's ranking from Middle Tennessee for Franklin County is 55th. Franklin County is 101. That is a massive gap. That means that according to the Tennessean, Franklin County is going to spend most of their year playing uphill. And I told you this over and over again. I do not buy it, not because I think that Franklin County is automatically going to be better than every one of those teams. That's not what I'm saying. I do believe that they will be competitive with every one of those teams. I do think that they are capable. Let me say this. Franklin County this year, not next year, not the year after, not 5 years down the road, this year, after winning one game in the last 2 years, Franklin County is capable of beating every team on their schedule this year. They have the capacity of beating every team on their schedule this year. Now, will they? That's a question yet to be answered. But they will have the capacity to do so through coaching, through their roster, through all the things. Now, I'm not saying that they will. Like I said, I'm just saying they have the capacity. It's going to be must-see football this year. You're not going to want it because they will have the ability to win any game. Now, I don't think, what I can say is I don't think that they are separated from these other teams by anything remotely close to that many spots. Like Huntland, for example, this is one that caught my attention. So Huntland has had some kids graduate out. They're ranked 95th. Franklin County is 101st. According to the Tennessean, Huntland is currently a better football team than Franklin County. And I want to be clear when I say this. This is not to be disrespectful towards Huntland. They are another team within the county. And I hope that they have a fantastic year. We're about to see them on the field on Friday going up against Franklin County. But Huntland's a 1A program. Franklin County is a 5A program. And despite the fact that I know Huntland has been better in recent years, there's a reason why these two teams don't usually play. The reason is because if Franklin County beats Huntland, oh, congratulations, you beat a 1A team. You should beat that team. But if they lose to Huntland, wow, you got beat by a 1A team. And vice versa, when you're competing for the same athletes within the same county, the same community, if you're Huntland and you beat Franklin County, I'm going to go down and play at Huntland. They're really good. But if you're Huntland and you lose to Franklin County, well, it's like a situation where the rich seem to get richer. I'm not going to go to Huntland. They're a smaller school. They're not going to be as good competition, all the things that, And so it doesn't really benefit either team. That's why when you say, why don't we have this great rivalry between Huntland and Franklin County? Why don't we play every year? Because they are built in completely different ways. They're in completely different worlds, and it really does not benefit either of them.
Kevin Simmons says, go Hornets.
Go Hornets. But if you evaluated both teams this year, you're going to see this on Friday. In my opinion, you're going to see this on Friday. I'll be shocked if it goes any differently. These two teams have been on the field in recent years against one another, and Huntland has looked better. I believe we're going to get a very good barometer. It's not going to be all 4 quarters. This Friday, if you come to the scrimmage at Franklin County High School, it's going to be 2 quarters of varsity and then a quarter of like freshmen and JV, the younger kids. But if you go, you'll understand what I'm saying, where I'm at. Not to put any pressure on Coach Reed in Franklin County. Not to be disrespectful to Huntland. I think that Franklin County is going to shock people with how different, not just they look on the football field, but how different they act, the culture. I mean, we're dealing with a program that there was concern a few years ago about them just shutting it down. There were people that were just like, just stop playing football. It's embarrassing at this point. The thing that happened in the Shelbyville locker room, the fights on the field, I mean, is bad, right? But that's why I go back to like Blanche again. You don't just give up. You don't just quit. You respond. You go back and you fix it. So my challenge to the Tennessean is, if you've actually evaluated the teams on this list, explain that to me. Because I don't think you did anything. I'm calling the Tennessean out right here. Explain it. What did you evaluate? Are you evaluating returning production, quarterback play, offensive line play? Are you just watching film from last year? Or like, what specifically led you to putting Franklin County at 101? Because my real beef with the Tennessean is their false precision in this whole thing, telling people what this is going to look like. They didn't give us a top 25. They didn't give us the contenders. They didn't give us playoff teams or teams to watch or sleepers. No, they went 1, 2, 3, all the way down to 136. That's a level of precision that I have a very difficult time believing exists. I think that what you're saying is impossible to calculate. You're saying that Huntland is 6 spots better than Franklin County. That's what you're saying. You're saying that Warren County is exactly 5 spots better. Coffee County is exactly 15 spots better. What's the formula there? We'll wrap it up when we come back. This is the starting lineup you're listening to. ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester.
This is Dale from Columbus, previously from the Paul Feinbaum Show.
I check in scissor hands. I'm the wrong guy to ask, but what's the secret to a good haircut?
A good haircut makes you feel confident. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, when you get that haircut, you're going to walk out that barbershop, you're going to look in the mirror, and you're going to be like, yeah, that's it. And you're going to tip the barber.
The Paul Feinbaum Show, weekdays at 3 Eastern on the ESPN app and on the SEC Network.
Of Abraham Art Gallery right on the square in downtown Winchester. Looking for something unique? Every month brings a new featured artist, original art to inspire and share with the community. Come in, explore, and discover art that's ready to go home with you today. Whether you're redecorating, collecting, or just need something that sparks joy, this is your place. We're open Tuesday through Saturday. Find us on Instagram and Facebook. Visit abrahamgallery.com or stop by at 106 North High Street. You never know what you'll fall in love with.
Why choose More Courtney Funeral Home? Well, they're a fifth-generation funeral home taking care of the people of Franklin County since 1905. They're committed to serving you, dedicated to providing personalized, professional, compassionate service to help lighten your burden and help you out during these difficult times. More Courtney Funeral Home, 300 First Avenue Northwest in Winchester, 967-2222. More Courtney Funeral Home.
Got a project to tackle or a party to plan? Skip the stress and rent it instead at Reliable Rental in Winchester. From tools and heavy-duty machines to chairs, tables, and event essentials, they've got what you need to get the job done right. Whether it's work or a weekend celebration, Reliable Rental makes it easy. Stop by 2433 Deckard Boulevard in Winchester or check out everything they offer online at reliablerentalfc.com. Reliable Rental. When you need it, they've got it.
The future of healthcare starts here. The Southern Tennessee Regional Health System, Winchester and Suwannee, are joining the High Point Health System with Ascension St. Thomas, a health network serving communities across the state. We're working together to expand access, improve clinical quality, and keep you close to home throughout your care journey. Your favorite providers aren't going anywhere. It's the same care you know and trust, now with a new name, High Point Health with Ascension St. Thomas. Learn more at highpointhealthsystem.com.
Tune into the starting lineup on the FMO Facebook feed. Just go to Facebook.com/ESPN Winchester. Now, back to Joe and Chewy.
All right, back here on the starting lineup, ESPN Radio, 1340, 1069 WCDT, Winchester, Joe Abraham and Chewy. Couple of things. Schubert,
yeah,
we've talked so much about high school football today. You know what I really want to do? We did interviews with every single coach at Franklin County High School. We haven't had Coach Norris and Coach Reed back in, but we have talked to them. We talked to them when they first arrived in town. But recently we talked to every single new coach except for one, I believe. There's one that we have not talked to. He just arrived more recently. But we talked to like eight.
I'll tell you who we can talk to.
Yeah, give me the list.
Jim Collins, Shelby Thane, Tracy Dunn, Denny Wise, Ian Ackerman, Sean Carter, Davis Evans, and Isaiah Sisk.
So I've been contemplating, because we've had these for like over a week. I've been contemplating on how we want to roll these out. Are our listeners getting as fired up for football as I am? How about this? I got you guys. We're going to release these interviews. We're going to release these interviews today.
Okay.
We'll just put them out there today. We're going to play them on air. We'll schedule them for later this afternoon. And you'll be able to listen to them on air between 2 and 4 p.m. Instead of a replay of today's show, we'll play those. And we're going to put them up on Facebook where you can watch the interviews. We'll separate them by... we did two guys at a time. So, like, we did the offensive line coach and the defensive line coach. We're going to put those out there. I think it's unfair for me and Chewy to have access to these interviews and not you guys. I was trying to hold out. You know what I was trying to do? I was trying to hold out for next week and say, hey, we're going to play these all back, boom, 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 once a day. leading up to get people excited for the opening week of football. I think that's unfair. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's just do it. So if you want to learn about these coaches, if you want to get a little insight, that's what's coming up today. Also, the coaches show over at Jefferson's tonight. Coach Jernigan from Huntland Middle is going to be out there with Johnny Hand. Come on out. That starts at 6 p.m. Chewy, I have a story. Now, I'm not going to name the individual, the perpetrator of this, but I am going to wrap the show up
tell this one
with this. This is friggin' tremendous.
Oh,
if you've
dear.
been waiting all day to laugh, all morning to laugh, here it is. So sometimes marketing is too good. The marketing is too good, where you lose sight of what you're actually maybe buying or getting yourself into, and you just go for it because it just looks so, whatever it is, it's so tempting. They've done such a good job presenting this thing. And I've discovered that such was the case with one of our friends of the show and a listener who I'm not going to name. But we'll say this guy's name is Jim. And Jim is driving down the road after a long day of work, starting to fade late in the afternoon. Chewy, it's about 3 o'clock or so. I don't know what time it actually was. But he was getting a little tired, right? And he needed an afternoon pick-me-up. So he stops for an energy drink. You got to be careful with those things. Monster, Red Bull, all that stuff. You drink too much of that stuff. Like my pre-workout. They say it's bad for you. So he pulls off at a gas station, walks in, goes to the back freezer, and finds the energy drinks, and there is one with a big blue bunny on it, Chewy. Like the Playboy bunny.
Yeah.
Did you know that Playboy makes an energy drink?
It makes sense, but, after I heard the story, but before this, I would have never guessed that brand needed that.
So apparently you've got to be 18 years or older to get this drink.
And that number, again, 18, not 21.
Right, 18, not 21. There's no alcohol in it. I have done some research on this thing. Now, I am still also a little bit confused, and I have looked into this a little bit. But the individual loves the marketing on this can so much, they're like, oh, I'm going to try this. They pull it off the shelf, they go up, they pay for it. The cashier says, hey, I need to see your ID. They're like, that's a weird, it's an energy drink, that's kind of weird. But they don't really think about it. They show their ID. They go into the car. They're driving down the road. They crack the thing open. Oh, that tastes pretty good. Take a big swig of it. Drink it about halfway down. They're like, man, that is good. They're looking at the can now. I think it was Naughty Berry is the name of the one. I think that's right. There are multiple different flavors of this type of energy drink with very interesting names. I'm trying to pull them up right now. Here we go. Sexy Peaches, Raz Bunny, Lovely Melons, Naughty Berry, Tropic Passion. It might have been Raz Bunny. I don't know. Got a blue Playboy bunny on. Driving down a road, and this individual feels their heart rate pick up fairly intensely, Chewy. Looks at the can. What is in this thing? And notices on it that it says performance plus pleasure. Now, I am still not 100% sure what is in this thing. But Jim, we'll call him again. Had to make a call to his wife and let her know that he was ready to go. Because apparently Playboy has an energy drink which delivers a little bit more than 200 milligrams of caffeine and some vitamin B.
Yeah.
So just be careful out there when you're bumping around and you need a pick-me-up in the afternoon. Be careful what you get into.
Read the ingredients.
Yeah.
And possibly the effects.
Marketing is a very dangerous thing. He's driving around down the road, pitching a tent, drinking an energy drink, thinking he's just figuring out a pick-me-up to get him through his day. The kids are at school. It's 8:59. It's okay.
All right. Yeah.
Just is what it is.
Yeah.
Have a good day. Love y'all. Coming up next on the other side, Reliable Rentals Swap and Shop. This is ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester.
It's time for a community calendar update presented by Southern Middle Tennessee's sports leader, WCDT 1340 AM, W295 AV, 1069 FM.